Rebuild this, rebuild that. If you're into football manager content like me, then you've probably seen one of the countless 5 to 10 year long rebuilds that pack that much progress into 30 to 45 minutes. And trust me, I love that content too, but today we're gonna do something a little bit different. If you want your very own rebuild projects to feel realistic, the kind of save where every decision matters and the story feels authentic, then this video is for you. Today I'm gonna be breaking down a few philosophies that I've implemented in my own saves that'll make your save feel more grounded, more realistic, and overall, just a more enjoyable experience if you're looking for that more simulation style of Football Manager. Honestly, this is the most important thing to consider even before clicking begin save, the league ecosystem. Ask yourself, where does your team sit in the bigger picture, and where does the league sit in the bigger picture of Europe or the world in general? Are you taking over a fallen giant that just needs a few more star players to rise to its past glory?
Easy top 3. If I'm not 16th!
Are you managing a yo-yo club that gets promoted one year just to get relegated the next, and on and on and on? Or maybe you're in the 3rd or 4th tier dreaming of top flight football, but all the steps to get there are a bit intimidating.
Have you ever had a dream that you had?
When you know what you are from the start, then it makes all the decisions that you're gonna make in the future a lot more simple, and it lets you set the stage for the goals that you are gonna set for the rest of the save. Let me list a few examples. In your first season, don't immediately clear house and start splashing cash. Get to know the team that you're inheriting, see who's good, see who's not, and be patient with them. Give yourself a season to get acclimated with the team and the league, and that will help inform you on some more long-term goals. If the club is drowning in debt, work within that constraint and slowly climb out of that. Figure out if it's more realistic to focus on loans, bargain buys, or free transfers, or maybe you can splash on 1 or 2 premier signings and then fill out the rest of your roster with some more budget picks. And think about your wage structure. If you're not playing in European football or can't realistically push for that, don't give players superstar wages. And a lot of times the finances don't even have to do with your club, but the league itself. In England, even the bottom 3rd teams in the Premier League will make more revenue than teams like Ajax, the giants of the Netherlands. In Germany, you have fan-owned clubs that help distinguish the club culture and how the league is run there. And in Turkey, big clubs spend big, leaving local talent for the rest. So think like a real manager that has the constraints of his real life club. Is Benjamin Sesko really a realistic option at striker 2 or 3 seasons into your rebuild? Or is your target a top Belgian league striker? That seems much more realistic. Over time, those little decisions add up and your save feels more authentic. Because a lot of these times, these rebuilds just revolve around buying the same wonder kids over and over, and we are way too far in the game to keep doing that. I feel like I make staff a point in every video I do, and I'm not going to stop now. Recruit and judge staff like players. This is an area that I feel like a lot of players just turn on autopilot for. You find the staff that have the closest attributes to 20, and then you re-sign them in perpetuity until the end of your save, or until they leave your team. But if you want true realism,
Like you cut, G.
treat your staff like players. Do their tactics align with yours? Do they speak the same languages as your fellow staff and as your players? Have they worked at a similar level of football before? And once you've hired them, really track their performance. Are scouts finding useful players? You can track that. Is your director of football suggesting real transfers? I hit that in my last video as well. Is your set piece coach improving your set piece statistics season over season? Or are you getting pelted by near post corners that he can't defend? And are your players physically developing the way that you'd like under some of your fitness coaches? There's plenty of questions and plenty of things that can be tracked to see if staff are doing their job correctly. It's not just about the numbers going up for their attributes, but their actual output for your team. It's not always easy to measure, and it takes a little bit of extra work, but judging your staff the same way you do players can really immerse yourself further into a save. And slowly, you'll see your entire project, players and staff included, grow in a tangible way along the guidelines that you have set for this save. I'll always point to it when I talk about staff as well. There's a fantastic staffing video that Musterman FM did about doing a save with Ajax, and I really, really recommend you guys go watch that if you want the full deep dive in how to do a really realistic staff. All right, now let's talk about something for the organizers amongst us. Shortlisting. I am a shortlisting freak. Don't just dump every scout report into one shortlist. Be smart about it. And here's a system that works really well that I find a lot of clubs in real life probably do some version of. Create a short list for each position in your tactic. Create a watch list for long-term prospects. and then a maybe list for players you're unsure about that don't really go into either one of those lists. And keep those position lists tight. Maybe 3 to 5 realistic options, and then you can kind of rank them in your head, or maybe use the note feature to rank them as top target at wingback, second, third, fourth, fifth. And as new players come in through scouting reports or scouting directives, update the list and see if any of those new players can take over a spot in one of the other short lists. And if you're unsure, throw them in the maybe list. This way, when your striker gets poached on deadline day, even though you had a month or two to really plan for it, cough, cough, Newcastle, cough, cough, Alexander Isak, you're not scrambling. You've already got a short list of 3 to 5 options ranked, and you can go right through them, seeing who will join your team. And even if you have a day to scramble, at least you have a good starting point. It also makes scouting feel a lot more purposeful instead of random. And over time, as you implement this system, you'll really see if your scouting network is working efficiently and the way that you want it to. For the fourth one, we're getting a little bit more philosophical. Embrace the setbacks. Real rebuilds are not linear. I had to say that slow because I kept messing it up. You're not supposed to fly straight up the table season over season. Remember, your progress chart is supposed to look like a roller coaster. You'll have mid-table finishes after finishing top 3 in a season. You'll squander cup opportunities early into a season. And of course, what's always certain, just like death and taxes, is getting FM'd. That's football, and that's Football Manager. And honestly, those down moments make the highs feel so much sweeter. And here's one thing to keep in mind as well. It is okay to get fired. Most players will think about quitting, or maybe even save scumming, something I've been accused of, but I've never been caught doing. But why not embrace it? Take over a rival. Get revenge on the team that fired you. Turn the rebuild of one team into another team in the same division. Learn from your mistakes. Suddenly your rebuild has a whole new chapter, and it's a part of a book that you never knew that you were going to write in the first place. I don't know if that's a bar or if that's corny as hell. And finally, long-term identity. I'm going to ask you to ask yourself another thing. What do I want this club to look like in 5 to 10 years? I'm really starting to sound like an annoying parent who's asking their kid, what do you want your life to look like in 10 years? You need to know now. But back to Football Manager. Do you want to be a youth-driven powerhouse like Ajax, a high-pressing machine like Klopp's Liverpool, or a possession-based giant like Pep Guardiola's City? And maybe some transfer shenanigans in there too. Every decision, player transfer, staff signing, facility upgrade, should feed into this vision. It doesn't have to fit cleanly, but you should be working towards something. And honestly, half the fun of FM is the story that's in your head. How many times do you just want to share the craziness that happened with a buddy or on a forum or in a community? And how many times have you smashed through a transfer window making a dozen or so signings and just get bored really quickly after? It's probably because that save didn't have a unique identity to you, and maybe something personal. But if you identify a goal from the start and say it's to create the next big Portuguese academy powerhouse, or turn a new Danish club into a hub for foreign talent, or grow another MLS team to have a reputation big enough to attract players like Messi or Son to them as well, suddenly you have a reason to stick with this save. Because I know a lot of times that first season is the hardest to get through. Think like a real club, plan for the future, and you'll find yourself telling stories in FM that feel like they could actually happen. My hope for you is that every save feels different. And when you're intentional about what you're trying to set out to do from the start, I think it will definitely help a lot. So there it is. Let me sum it up again with the 5 points. Understand your league ecosystem. Treat staff like players when it comes to recruiting them and judging them. Shortlist efficiently and in an organized way. Embrace the setbacks. And always think long-term about your club's identity. Do that, and your next Football Manager rebuild will not just be fun, but feel real. If you enjoyed this guide, I'm going to be doing more of them leading up to FM26, and definitely doing them for FM26 as well. If you ever want to watch me live, I'm on twitch.tv/Dill40k. The links are below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff. I see there's a hype feature for smaller creators now. I don't really know what that does, but if you could try and do that from this video, I wouldn't mind if you did that. I wouldn't be mad if you did that. Only do it if you want to. And finally, what's the most realistic rebuild you have done? I know I'm asking this question at the end, which seems very inefficient, unlike my shortlist tip, but I would love to hear about it. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!